10 seconds remaining.
I've never heard of Black Z or Doodle. To be honest, are these guys new to IG, or they've been on the roster for a while?
Black is newer. Doodle is not.
Does he go by any other names?
I think Doodle did. Is Doodle half maybe? Or no, that's not. That's emo. Doodle was Shelter.
I'm Googling it. I'm opening up.
And then emo was half, which is a much more
played
popular
on,
name.
He played on Serenity for a little bit.
Yeah, he played on FTD Club A.
Oh, okay.
Which
Club.
Back when they had Club A, B, and C.
Oh, so they were like the original FTD.
Yeah, but I think back then FTD Club B was their best team.
Oh, okay.
And then you had like Energy Pacemaker, Hyper Glory Team, White Fries Gaming.
Yeah, those were the days.
But
Energy Pacemaker. So this guy's been around. He's been around for playing on the tier 2 scene since like 2017. Looks like.
Yeah, he's been doing his thing, grinding it out. But a couple of interesting picks here, with Winter Wyvern and Visage coming out for EHOME. On top of that, an Undying, and then IG, they go to Brew, Shadow Shaman, Beastmaster, Lifestealer. So is Brew going to be the 4 or even the 5 here with Beastmaster in the offlane, or is Beastmaster taking the back seat?
I feel like Brew is a better 5, but when you are against a Winter Wyvern who is excellent as a Beastmaster counter, because you just turn the Necros and all the units against him, or anybody on his team for that matter, then that makes Brew kind of a better offlaner just in this scenario.
Invictus
yeah, you can throw the Visage up too in a fight, spell the Pugna. Yeah, it's a hard Beastmaster game. Like Pugna can decrepify your Roar target as well, so this is a quite a difficult Beastmaster game. I would love to see it on 5, given the picks. Interesting draft coming from EHOME, just looking to completely up the pace of the game, which is a lot of people's response to this Midas / little gold. You get a lot less gold now in the current patch, so a lot of the time people are just picking like early push before people come online, before people get their Midases, heroes that are better with levels as opposed to and can push with levels as opposed to with items. So you get Pugna, you get Visage. These heroes get some levels in the Tombstone. You run at towers, doesn't matter if you have items or not, you'll take the towers. Whereas IG, they're more so leaning towards they need some items. Although their heroes aren't that bad with just levels. I gotta say, like they have the Shadow Shaman awards, they have the Beastmaster Roar, which is decent. Brewmaster ulti. The only hero is the Lifestealer. Like the Lifestealer is definitely not great until he gets items.
And what's Lifestealer's way in? Is that a, depending on a Blink Dagger for Beastmaster?
It could be a Shadow Blade Beastmaster. Maybe there'll be like some sort of last pick. I'd love to see some sort of wave clear from IG just to deal with this early push, and maybe some wave clear that could give the Lifestealer a bomb, like a Puck. I do feel like a Puck would be relatively decent here, like you said, to give him a way into these fights. Because if they can get into the fights and pick off like a Winter Wyvern or a Pugna, then it's going to result in a 1 fight. If you can delay EHOME in pushing your towers for 3 or 4 fights, it's basically just over for them because they're committing very heavily to this early game push.
Pugna, Winter Wyvern, Visage. I mean, both teams can push in their own ways. Nether Blast with Visage Familiars, Serpent Wards, Beastmaster with the Boar, as well as possibly, going Necrobook.
If you're EHOME and you want to go all in on this push here, I feel like just like Nature's Prophet, something like that. Just say, all right, we're just going to get something to tank the towers. If you fight us and win a couple of times, we're done. But if you are at a disadvantage in the lanes, we're going to completely snowball the games. And Nature's Prophet would certainly give them an advantage in the lanes. The only issue is then you have a Nature's Prophet versus a Lifestealer, which can go both ways. Lifestealer, okay, so they get a Clockwork.
Ooh.
Did not expect that. Not even close.
Wow.
Well.
You may now select your heroes.
They have very little lockdown to deal with this Morphling.
Yeah, mid Morphling, safe lane, Lifestealer. I mean, oof. And that's going to be Zhao 8 on the Pugna, Xingqiu on the Winter Wyvern. I believe Xingqiu's playing offlane for this squad.
Huh. This is, EHOME has very little carry, but late game carry heroes on their team. They have a lot of early game, a lot of dragons and skeletons and dead people. There's not a single human on the side of EHOME. Doesn't matter, though. They have extremely good early game fighting. And I think Clockwork is relatively underrated, but I'm not sure how much I like him against a Morphling Lifestealer. It's great against Shadow Shaman. It's great against... because Shadow Shaman can't get any of his spells off on you. You just run him down, tons of damage. You can basically solo kill the Shadow Shaman. It's good against Brew, because Brew is great against physical damage because he has to dodge. But you can just run a Brew down in the lane and kill him with the Battery Assault. He does nothing towards the magical damage. But Lifestealer just presses Rage. Morphling just uses his waveform out of the cogs. And it's not going to be a problem for IG. Like, if EHOME don't win the lanes, IG's going to destroy them in the mid to late game. There's like no coming back if you're losing for EHOME. But they have great push. So
IG desperately need a win
lanes,
too.
What's their score at right now?
They're 0-2 while EHOME's 0-1. So going 0-3 is basically a death sentence to the lower bracket.
Yeah,
which lower bracket round 1 is best of ones. So
that's never ideal.
You know, it's definitely not.
I like what I see. Last pick Morphling. Yes. Yes, you do. He's kicking around the pig balloon.
Gotta get to lane.
So he goes for circlets, and this makes a lot of sense on Morphling because you can just stat shift the strength that you get from them to agility. I like it.
Oh. Did end up popping. It's
He blew it up.
Full smoke coming out from EHOME. And they're trying to get around the back of IG, possibly finding a first blood, but don't spot anybody by the bounty rune, and now Battery Assault will come out on a dogfight. They've also got Black here. So we'll see how EHOME approach this, and the decay hits on multiple heroes. Xingqiu using Arctic Burn a little early. We'll see if he gets in range for that slow. Will on a dogfight, so they should have first blood at least. And it will go the way of Tianming.
Not the lane that you want to give first blood in. This is the lane that you would like to apply a decent amount of pressure. Like we were talking about, if EHOME gets an early lead here, they're going to snowball pretty hard. So getting first blood is pretty effective. Also, forcing the Beastmaster to use some tangos by just getting that one Arctic Burn on him, even something like that is nice. That's going to set up for a good lane down here. Laning is really all about regen.
You're talking about EHOME forcing their hand early and trying to push out and win these lanes, but Xingqiu is going Midas, so is he looking more towards, just in case the later game? Does he need items or just levels? Can he work with this lineup with just levels and then have the Midas just in case the game goes later?
It does make, there's two lines of thought when going Midas. It's just to get more farm and then not fight, and then you can fight with your levels and your skills, and then have the Midas to get you items while you're fighting, because when you're fighting you're not farming. So I think that's kind of like a farming Midas, where he's essentially, they're going to be looking to push and to fight and to constantly apply pressure, but while doing that he's going to want to farm. So maybe he just sees himself as the hero that's going to need to constantly apply pressure, and therefore he needs to get the Midas, because otherwise, as the hero that's making the space and applying the pressure, he won't get any farm. He knows that he's going to have to do that for the majority of the game.
Quick pause here.
Calais.
Yeah, a little lag going on, but it gives me time. don't see it in that. I wanted to show off this Undying set that he's got going on here.
I knew it.
Oh, of course. I love showing this off. The Trail of the Burning Doom. It's a glitched item. The autographed items that get glitched, I think they have to be self-made autographed items. So I think anybody who goes to TI gets a self-made chest, and then they get a self-made item out of that chest, and you somehow there's somebody who glitches the item,
this one
thousands of dollars, and it's Trail of the Burning Doom and the Tombstone, so he always has it on whether or not the Tombstone's out.
This one is autographed by Oleg PRB Bolavko. I do believe that is some sort of CIS name, right? That's not his name.
No,
that's not a Chinese name.
Definitely not.
He bought this. I'm calling Oleg out right now. He was selling autographed items to glitch and put in game.
Well, you only
Chinese
get one
players.
chest, so I don't know if he sold his one. I think
Oh,
you
you
can only get
one?
one. That's what I've been told. I am not a TI caster. I don't exactly know. So
Gods would know.
Yeah, I think I've
Ask
spoken to
him
people about this
next time.
before.
Tomorrow. You casting with him tomorrow?
Yeah, for the first part.
He's gonna be upset that you made that point on stream because it's like, oh, don't tell them I sold somebody my he sold it. He probably sold his to somebody.
Eh.
Dude, you could sell that for like $300. Look how cool this looks. This looks way cooler than the Dragon Claw hook, and that thing's worth $700.
Well, that's how FY has
Canadian.
his Bleak Hallucination Rubik. It's the same thing. It's you know how you see his Rubik and it's got like the ghosting on it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's done the same way. It's the Bleak Hallucination. That's my favorite.
Dragon Knight. There's a Dragon Knight too that has
it.
I don't remember. Is it Burning?
No,
Somebody
it's a player who still plays now. No offense, Burning.
Is it Somnus?
It might be. I think it might be.
It might be Somnus. It's a mid player. No, it's a mid player. It's a Dragon Knight. But yeah, man. I used to be big into items. I don't know about you. Before the Three Spirits change, where they made it so that all of the like unusual gems could be taken out and put into different couriers and stuff. That I was big into items then. But then there was a bit of a crash after that because that kind of when they took that out, it kind of devalued a lot of the legacy couriers, which were at like the tip top of the economy, because like this is the only pink courier. You have to have a legacy one to get the pink courier. Then you could kind of get any color you wanted. Devalued a lot of things. A lot of people got angry. Economy crashed. There's less.
Well, wasn't there that guy who bought the pink courier for like tens of thousands of dollars?
40,000 or something. Yeah.
Jesus.
Those were the days, dude. I had an Alpine Ursa set. I got it when it was out. And that was a nice purchase. Within a few weeks, it was worth $700 or something ridiculous like that.
I had to hold on to it and then try for some Bugattis.
I traded it for something stupid. I said it was a trader, not a good trader. Anyway, we got a game going here.
Yeah, we're on pause. The last thing I'm gonna say on the whole item thing is I haven't seen FY play in so long. I hope he has the Bleak Hallucination somehow on the Arcana.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Oh, Black in a lot of trouble trying to run away. Tian Ming's here with the battery assault. The TP. Oh, great spot. Where'd he go?
That's it pays to explore the map in practice lobbies. All of his hard work and practice just paid for itself. It's such a nice spot.
Gave up that spot though.
Yep.
Now we
and
know.
they're against a tri-lane, so wasting their time like that and getting the wave right in front of your tower, super effective. It's not a dual lane that he's against.
So
and the pull doesn't connect. So they have a full wave here.
Oh, dogfights in a lot of trouble. The battery assault, the decay comes in. Easy kill here for Ego. Kind of got locked up in my head thinking about the question I was going to ask while casting that. But I was going to say, Jinkyu, now he's solo here against Doodle, at least for now. They finally TP up the Shadow Shaman. But I was going to say, Jinkyu getting levels. He's already level 3. The levels are really big here, I feel like, for a Winter Wyvern with this team right now. To have an early Winter's Curse can really do quite a bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. And even just getting levels up in the Splinter Blast is going to help him with laning, which will get him to the level 6 even quicker. Like level 2 in Splinter Blast, it's 15 extra mana for 80 more damage. It's quite effective to level it up, and that's going to give him something to deal with this Lifestealer. Although, it's problematic when this hero has Feast, and you can just, you know, lifesteal all of the damage that you do to him. But the higher and higher you get that spell, the less you can do that.
Oh god, emo. Battery Assault. Getting into that
level
strength.
1 on Clockwork. Can't do it. He can't.
It'll be okay.
Trap. Does have the boots, so this is something that you see a lot of roamers do nowadays. They'll sit in the safe lane and just try lane until they get either like level 2 or boots or something like that, and then they'll start roaming. The only problem with Clockwork is that level 1 Battery Assault, not that great. And Power Cogs, or Battery Assault without Power Cogs, also not that great, so you need so many levels on this hero, other than just having boots to roam effectively.
Yeah, it feels like he's not that Earth Spirit who's able to roam effectively like just level 2 straight out of the bat. And you know there are other heroes like that, or were other heroes like that, like Tusk. And when you
and even Pudge at level 2 is spooky.
Black in a lot of trouble. There's the Cogs, there's the Battery Assault, the Soul Assumption comes out, couple shots and he'll die, as there's the Soul Assumption again, and Ego getting that kill. Meanwhile, I believe Innocence died inside the jungle, sacrificing himself.
Oh, I think he died to the tier 2. It's quicker respawn time. Undying, Skywrath, Pudge, Ursa. I love killing myself to the tier 2 on these heroes, just because you come back to lane and you trade so effectively on Undying that Undying with full mana is so scary as he runs up here to the top lane.
And Jinkyu has to be careful, but buys Cliff, and then Innocence comes over. So he's got Decay ready to rock and roll, and actually he'll just zone them out so they get 3 of the 4 bounty runes this early.
I'm really interested to see how this Wyvern is played in this game. Like, I'm wondering why they... I know they picked the Wyvern like to counter the Beastmaster. It's great against Beastmaster, but do you need to put it in the 4 roll? Is the offlane clock that... or is having clock that good?
I gotta be careful. They're looking for Innocence with Zhao 8 here. The Nether Blast comes in, but Innocence with the Decay is survivable in this moment. They try to turn it around on Zhao 8 once again, but Emo eating these Nether Blasts as he continues to just morph into that strength. And then back into the Agi.
He was playing real low there. He knows this matchup. This is a pretty easy matchup to feed if you haven't played it a lot, because Pugna with a single blast plus Decrep can kill you from full HP. 360 HP is not a lot. He should probably send out a raindrop here. Let's see, does he have one courier? He does not. That's aggressive. It's definitely aggressive. Does find a haste rune on the top rune spawn.
Haste.
Meanwhile, again over bottom.
Pugna here if he's not careful.
Ego's having a very good start to this, but as I say that, they're going to try and come on over with Ollie making his way in. Ego, Soul Assumption, throwing at Dogfights, 2 end Decay as well as the Soul Rip that's trying to keep Ego alive to get another Soul Assumption out. Dogfights ends up surviving. I basically just cursed Ego right there, as now they continue to move forward. They're trying to get Tian Ming, but finally Dogfights dies. You've got Innocence with 12 strength, but, I mean, they lose their position 1.
Killing Visage before he's 6 is very important. It's a lot harder to deal with when he has those familiars. Although they did get nerfed at level 1, so they're nowhere near as strong as they once were. But still, this hero is absolutely abysmal at laning unless he's in like a try-v-try scenario. So
It does worry me that they're letting Doodle just kind of do his thing top. I've already seen it once today where you'll leave a Lifestealer to his own accord and he'll make you pay for it.
Yep, and speaking of pay, like, he's already got his Midas. He just needs to head over to the side shop here and pick up the Glove of Haste, which... Ooh, sell it. It's in your stash. There you go. I've done that so many times at pubs where you run over to the side shop and you accidentally buy things from the main shop. And then sometimes you realize a little too late. It's a TP, though.
Trying to get Jinkyu. We'll see if Doodle, well, not committing to going under the tower. And then Tianming, again, it just seems like he's starting this battery assault off maybe a little bit too late, but as I say that, he gets around Ollie with the cogs. They've got the familiars to continue to go in onto the Brewmaster. And familiars get the couple of stuns in.
I think if you're IG, you're just super okay with what's happening here. You have a tri-lane sitting bot. You have your tri-lane sitting bot too, and sure, your Brewmaster almost dies, but your Beast is still chilling in experience range, and your Lifestealer's free farming. The only potential issue is this Pugna. He's going to get this tower soon. Not much a Morphling can do against a Pugna at this point in the game.
It feels like EHOME are desperately trying to keep the pressure up and get kills here, but it's just not working out the way they would like. And with that, you know, there's so many rotations coming in, opening up so much space for the Lifestealer to just continue to farm and be happy in his lane. And subsequently, as they've gone over bottom a couple of times, Emo's been able to find a good time mid, or a decent time mid.
He's been farming, which is good, but Pugna takes the tower. And now he can head to secure potentially another tower. I think running to the... Oh, actually, as Dogfights dies in the back.
Yeah, they're going to go for Ego. They've got themselves the Roar, and this should be more than enough with Emo even rotating on this. So
I guess there's no point in him being mid. No tower to defend, eh? So it's like, just TP to the bot lane, head back to mid.
Works out perfectly. A quick little TP and a easy kill. Winter's Curse used over top on a Doodle. They're trying to make sure that he's stuck by as they want to get this kill onto Doodle, which is very important considering how much of an open lane he's had. But the battery assault comes through. I get a little bit of lag coming my way. And Doodle able to slideshow it out.
Yeah, he had the rage up. He surprisingly didn't use it. He just was holding it. He knew that he could walk away. The Pugna had not enough mana to life drain, so unable to do enough damage without that life drain.
Yeah,
Ego TP's straight to the bot lane, just defending this tower. Now that he has the medallion and now that he's level 6, he is quite possibly the hardest hero on the map to kill on the side of EHOME. So this is a good place for him to be. Although as I say that, he draws a line towards the top lane and just TPs, or just walks there. Which is a good call because IG smoked to the bot lane. So they're not going to find anything other than maybe the tower.
I don't want to reconnect just because it never fixes the lag. Even though people are going to be screaming for me to reconnect. But I almost have no choice. I'm going to give it a minute. Going to give it a minute longer, see what happens. It usually evens out.
Good for me.
But
So
Ollie and Emo coming over on the Jinkyu. The Arctic Burn ends, and now he's going to break some trees, but you got Emo and Ollie to get an easy kill there on the Jinkyu, who looked like he had a decent start. Oh, I thought it was kicking back there.
This is the thing about the Winter Wyvern pick as an offlaner. What he was doing is the correct action to do on Winter Wyvern, where you sit in the trees, you defend the tower for as long as possible. But the reason that that's good to do as a support is because if they dive and kill you, it's a waste of their time. But when you're killing the 3-roll by diving like that, I mean, that was an easy kill for 1, but for 2, like, you're killing an important hero as opposed to an unimportant one. So it's interesting to see that he's playing basically just as a support Winter Wyvern. Although I say that, he's building into a Meteor Hammer. Winter's Curse plus Meteor Hammer build. Trent would be proud. Oh my god, the amount of times I've heard Trent say that he wants to see Axes and Winter Wyverns picking up Meteor Hammer. It's actually really good, too. It's super good. You just have so much chain disable and damage. It is unreal.
I'm trying to load back in. I caved. I tried to reconnect. I knew it would happen.
Did it work? Are you
no, I'm in a black screen right now. I'm waiting.
Well, let me tell you, there's a lot of farming going on. Particularly Doodle with the Midas. He's chilling in his own jungle, farming. And IG on the bot lane too. They're farming the kind of aggressive area while Doodle farms his own jungle because, well, he's not gonna get killed there because he has the rage. Although, as I say that, EHOME is pressuring into IG's jungle, but they realize it's a lifestealer. How do they kill a lifestealer? They need to use the hook, but what do they follow up the hook with? They have no disable other than Winter's Curse and Hook and Visage Bird Stun.
Alright,
Fights is in the trees in the ball lane.
Oh, he's got the Hex, but he ends up dying. This is the best I've got right now. It's just slideshow Dota. Unfortunately, it happens sometimes when you're connecting all the way to China. But
It's China servers.
yeah, I mean, it happens. I'm very much experienced with it, so I'm going to still try and cast as best I can. But I know people are going to be like, oh, it's PC, potato PC, but it's just the connection to the server just not being...
It seems to happen randomly, too. Sometimes
it's super
co-caster,
random. Yeah, I know it'll come back.
It's always in the broadcaster slot, too. Well, maybe it would be if you're playing the China server with... But I don't know why you would do that as a player from like North America. That would be very difficult to play.
Yeah, and it
36 ping.
It's 100 gigs up, 100 gigs down, and this is still happening. But whatever, they go into Roche. They're gonna try and take it. They've got the Serpent Wards down. Emo dog fights as well as Black in there with Ali on the side. I could add my own sound effects. I know people sometimes like that, but this seems like one of those days where people are just gonna be like, this kid is an idiot. But they'll go for this Roche, and coming over, at least for a moment, will be EHOME. Innocence and Jinkyu spot this. They've got the stun that comes through onto the Morphling, who ends up dying. And now they go after Black. He's going to immediately buy back. They look for the Beastmaster. He tries to run away. The Primal Split will be used by Ali. And now coming from behind him is Doodle looking over at Ego. The cogs get placed down as I can hear them, can't see them, and I get kicked out of the game.
Well, a Hook came out onto the Beastmaster, finishing him off. Roshan is at about 20% HP as a huge Splinter Blast comes out and takes 3 people inside of 3 cores on IG down to about 20% HP. Emo getting chased up. Roshan still has not fallen. They're fighting around the mid lane tower.
Oh, they've got the cogs around Doodle. They'll get the kill. That's going to be 3 dead on the side of IG as Emo tries to run away. We're finally back. We've got sound. We've got everything. Oh, it's so wonderful.
They headed into the Roche pit, and this is with all of the bounty routes spawning too. So not only from winning this team fight do they get the Roshan, but they're potentially going to pick up 2 of these bounty routes as well. It's like that's a perfect timing to win a fight because there are such clear objectives that you can go and get afterwards. Roshan, 2 bounty runes, push the top lane, secure the top lane. Super easy. This is a good timing for EHOME, but the later and later this game goes, the harder it gets, because IG's lineup, they have 2 very nicely scaling super carries, Lifestealer and Morphling. Beastmaster is no slouch in the late game either, especially with the vision advantage he gives you.
So 10-6 in favor of EHOME as they get themselves that fight over by the Roche pit. Really works out for them, and they've got themselves the Aegis here under the Pugna, so they'll smoke up, they'll try to keep it aggressive. Meanwhile, 2 of these heroes on their side of the jungle, or their side of the river, as Emo comes over, though, and finds Xiao 8, and gets the kill immediately. So Dogfight, so plays down the Serpent Wards. He's going to be stuck inside the cogs for a moment, finally breaks free. They'll come over with Ego. Dogfights falls to Innocence as they'll continue to work on to Ali. They get themselves a second. The Winter's Curse locks in Doodle as well as Emo. He'll infest in. The waveform over with the infest getting popped. And that is at least 1 for IG.
That's a dieback on dying, but it's still an undying, so they can push this tower with relative ease. Especially with 2 people TPing out. That actually means they're going to get a tier 2 here. That is interesting to... Oh no, Black's okay. He's just farming top. So they can look to defend this tier 2. I thought he TP'd out. Morphling, however, has no TP, and he's about to show here with no TP, which means they're basically gonna potentially sacrifice this tier 2. Is he gonna head over? He does have the regen, so he can run over. He's got a Yasha too, he's relatively fast. I don't know if you want to give up a tier 2.
They'll go for the tier 2 so quickly, they'll take it out.
And they have a meteor
Doodle
hammer.
needs to be careful. Decrepify Rage immediately used, and the Midas. Gotta make sure you sneak out that Midas coming through.
Of course. It's worth dying for. 180 gold. That's a lot of money. Beastmaster does get the top tower. That's very important considering the enemy team just took Roshan, although they did lose the Aegis, but you're not in a position where you necessarily want to fight them right now. Like, you have heroes that you know are going to be a lot stronger in the late game. EHOME is strong right now. it's only a 1k gold lead, but they're still way stronger just by virtue of when their heroes have a power spike. So it's relatively smart for IG to not look to fight into that right now. At a certain point, if the fight looks good, they can take it, but you definitely want to wait until like Morphling maybe gets Sanjin Yasha, Lifestealer gets Radiance, and then you probably look to fight. But until then, getting a tower while split pushing is
Hook shot. And the Winter's Curse, probably not both necessary at that moment, but the Meteor Hammer comes out on top of that. Innocence throws the Decay, and Emo places down his own Tombstone.
pretty gold.
Yeah. Thanks for the 125.
This is great. This is awesome if you're IG. You have dogfights pushing the bot lane. Presumably he's going to drop his Turtle wards on that tower if he's not dealt with, which forces EHOME to come down here. That is essentially Morphling making space for his supports. Brewmaster almost has his Force Staff too, allowing him to farm that little play up there. There's really little to deal with the Morphling here on the side of EHOME. That's definitely a concerning aspect of this game. They're going to have the Dagon soon. Maybe they can burst him. They still have no disable.
Decrepify again, but
look at him.
Waveform
He's just
out.
a man. Like, he's just letting these things occur to him because he knows that there's no way that he dies within reason.
We've got the Radiance finished off here on the Lifestealer, and then let's take a look at Jinkyu because he didn't end up going into that Midas. He went into the Meteor Hammer like you had said, but IG, they're in a decent spot if they want to wrap around EHOME, and now they'll spot the Shadow Shaman. Tianming on the back lines. They haven't come in just yet. They continue to pressure this tier 2 tower, trying to force the hand of IG. If they can win a fight here on the side of EHOME, they could push to the high ground potentially. So IG need to know that they're getting the right fight. You've got Hookshot available from EHOME to maybe make a long-range initiation. They'll get the Vision coming in with the Rocket Flare. So it's all about the positioning and whether or not they're going to choose to go in.
I'm like 90% sure that in the next fight is where we're going to see IG obliterate EHOME. Like, the rest of the game is going to be completely IG favored. Just because they have the Radiance, they have the Sanjin Yasha, and EHOME has not yet applied enough pressure. And these cores are going to start doing... These cores that were doing almost nothing in the early game, being the Morphling and the Lifestealer, they're now going to do the most. So, with that power spike, I think this is going to go downhill from here for EHOME. But IG looks like they don't want to fight. They're actually just fine with chilling out. They know the later and later this game goes, the more true that statement becomes of EHOME cannot fight into IG. So they're just cool. They'll lose all the towers, doesn't matter, because when you try to go high ground, when you try to fight us, we'll win.
Especially if Emo does end up getting himself that E-Blade, and you've got the Radiance already on Lifestealer. He's going into the Yasha with this Armwood as well, and Hookshot. Doodle locked into the cogs. He'll attempt to TP out. The Winter's Curse is going to keep him here. So he decides against just walking away with so many heroes on the side of EHOME coming in. And now Ollie moves over, but that may not have been the right move. Pugna will be cycloned up by this Primal Split Ollie Brewmaster. And now he's down to one bear. Back to form he'll come, and the Decay hits with the Arctic Burn coming in as well as the Battery Assault. Ollie on the run, but no way he's making it out.
That is basically the most important pick-off that they could get. Because I think if they don't chain everything perfectly on the Lifestealer after initiating on him, they don't kill him, and he just kills all of them. So that couldn't have been a more well-executed smoke. Like, they knew that they had to hit this timing, and they're going to try to pressure the high ground right here, because otherwise this game is way harder for them. So IG just needs to hold this. Do whatever they can to hold this high ground. Morphling has an Invis. This is a good chance to potentially start a really good fight. Blow up the...
Oh, the Sentry Ward's there for EHOME, though, so Emo's got to be careful. He places down his own Tombstone, looks over at Innocence, and now Tianming has to be careful as he's hit by the Adaptive Strike. The Waveform comes across, and the hookshot, I believe, was blocked by Innocence. You look over at Emo, and he goes back into the Undying form, gets a little bit of health back. They'll take out dogfights. They'll look for more. The Winter's Curse, that's going to lock in 3. Oh, with the Meteor Hammer on top of it, it's the Wombo combo coming in. Down goes Doodle, down goes Ollie, Black to follow. 4 heroes dead with the buyback coming out from dogfights. EHOME on that can certainly take a Rax.
I can't believe they basically hit like the last possible timing that they could to win this game, and they hit it so hard. Like, I'm glad that they chose to stick around there, because I do feel like this game would get way harder for them. They knew that they had to do this, and that meteor hammer from Winter Wyvern was absolutely beautiful. Like, it was on 3. Not only was it on 3, it was on Lifestealer, who, if they don't channel that meteor hammer, they have no way to disable.
They put it all together and they get themselves one set of racks over mid, the melee racks in the bottom lane. I mean, that is so much there for EHOME. And this is an EHOME playing with Jingqiu and Zhao 8. You know, they're missing Faith Beyond an ASD. And wow, I mean, EHOME, they're looking stellar with 2 stand-ins.
Maybe that's why they choose to draft like this, because they know that with essentially a different roster that they need to just draft in a new way regarding that roster. You know what I mean? Like, not necessarily that this is the easier strat by any means. It's more like these players like to play like this. Like, this iteration of the team is going to be good at these early game push strats. And I mean, clearly they are. Like, that execution from the clock hook on the nakes to the racks, to the double racks, was basically flawless. Like, that was the best timing that they could have hit at the last possible timing, and they hit it so damn hard. And now all of that stuff that I said about the late game is not true, because with 2 racks down, Dota's a different game. You constantly have that pressure. You constantly have that pressure.
Primal Roar. They'll find themselves Tian Ming, or at least think they have, as the 4-step away, but the waveform comes out, Emo able to get the kill, and now they'll look to turn it around for the side of EHOME, as they'll grab dogfights. Emo sitting low, but he goes after Zhao 8, who ends up falling. That's going to be 2 dead, immediately buying back. The waveform forward, Ego low, Soul Assumption available. Emo now needs to run with the Soul Assumption coming in, as well as the Winter's Curse, but that's only going to lock up just the Morphling. So they fall back on 2 of these heroes. They need to be careful. There's the Meteor Hammer that hits on the Lifestealer again. Is going to be hit by or get the rage off and get hit by these heroes on the side of EHOME, but able to escape. Doodle runs away, trying to get out. Ollie sacrifices his life. EHOME continues to move because 3 heroes on the side of IG are dead without buyback. Whew.
Is this the answer? Is this the Midas answer? You just pick no carry and 5 pushing heroes and run at the enemy team as they farm? It's looking pretty good. Meteor Hammer counters Midas.
Go for the tier 3 tower over top. And Doodle, taking a lot of damage, but the hook shot from downtown. Oh, baby, Tian Ming comes in from a mile away. And they'll get the kill immediately on Emo. Doodle forced back to base. Down goes the tier 3. Ollie moving in. And now, again, they need to try and find a way into this. But they lose Ollie one more time. He's going to be dead for 30 seconds. No buyback. Dogfights next as the Arctic Burn. Jingqiu coming over the top of that wall. That keeps the side of EHOME out. Or so it seemed. It won't be. As Dogfights, he falls. And they've also lost Ollie. Down goes Doodle. There's the Winter's Curse to lock in the Morphling. You just fought back, Emo. Where you gonna go? It's nowhere. It's just to the grave. GG is called by IG and EHOME, with this oddball lineup, take the game from IG. Nicely done. I mean, I truly am just shocked at what they were able to do with this lineup. It did look like it was falling off. It looked there was a moment where EHOME can let it all fall apart, but I mean, they held through. They found that perfect fight. The Winter's Curse with the Meteor Hammer came out and hit 3 heroes, and from there, I mean, there was no going back for IG. They had spent their buybacks. They had lost their way to come back into this game, putting themselves too far back, and EHOME took advantage with the ability to push at that moment, and they took this game. So that puts IG down to 0-3, with EHOME now at 1-1 as they played their first game against Liquid and lost. But it looked good from EHOME. Despite the 2 stand-ins, it looked relatively good. So next game will be EHOME again. This time up against Newbie, who won their first game against RNG. I think they're currently playing against EG. Not sure if that finished yet, but that'll be coming up next. Unless, actually, did I refresh this? Yeah, it still says they're playing against EG. So we'll be back with Newbie against EHOME next. Thank you so much for watching. And stay tuned, because it's going to be a good one. Newbie looked really good in their first game, and EHOME are always just very interesting to watch. So no reason to tune away at all. So we'll be back in a moment. Thank you guys so much, and stay right there.